Hello and welcome to this workshop about from idea to work for webshop in 5 simple steps. And I'm Annelies and I'm the owner of Books Art Liberty. And as you can hear, I'm from the Netherlands, so excuse me for my language. And in advance, I will also say that sometimes I really have to think about the words. So yeah, but let's start because I started my web shop 2.5 years ago. I was sitting at home without a job, suffering from PTSD, and started reading a lot. And I found out that there was this Bookstagram community on Instagram, and there I found this item called a book sleeve, and I was like, "Oh my god, I need to have that." I was traveling a lot by train, and I always take my books with me, but I also take coffee with me. And so a lot of books were damaged by coffee. So that's why when I found out there was this thing like book sleeves, I just had to have it. But like I said, I was without a job and I had no money. So my mom said, "Why don't you make them yourself?" And so she gave me a sewing machine on my birthday, and I started. Yeah, I started to sew and looked on YouTube videos on how to make them. And so a month later, I opened my Etsy shop. And in 2 weeks, I was getting orders from China and the Philippines and from all over the world. So it grew. My Etsy shop grew really quickly. And after a year, when the Corona crisis started, all the events were cancelled. But still, I wanted to grow online. And I took some marketing and branding courses to learn something about marketing and how to make a brand and how to make sure the shop would grow. So after following those courses, and last year I grew a lot on Etsy, and I also opened my own web shop using WooCommerce. So when they asked me, maybe you can do a workshop on things to do if you would like to open a web shop. Maybe you already have a web shop, but things are not going great, or you're thinking about opening a web shop. Then I have some tips, and let's start with the first one, because we all want to live the dreams, life of your dreams, of course. And if you're thinking about opening a web shop and you're having doubts, I hope I can take those doubts away, so you can go online, share your products and your art maybe with the world. So yeah. Like I said, a first step is maybe knowing why you are making your product. Like I said, I was spilling a lot of coffee over my books, so that was a problem. And a book sleeve protects that book, so that's the problem solver. So when people ask me, what are you doing? Why are you making book sleeves? It's not just, I make something to protect my books. No, it become a mission to protect books all around the world, so they can never come out damaged again out of suitcases or bags. So my product is a problem solver. And maybe you don't have a product that solves a problem, but maybe you make art, maybe you're an illustrator. So maybe it's more about a sort of validation or sending a message. But if you know why you're making your product and why it's there, you can communicate that with your customers or followers. So they know what they're buying. They know if it's a match. If you're sending a message and you can explain the why, they can connect. And the thing is, you don't need to, you make followers your customers and customers your fans. And they become fans when they take part in your mission. So if you haven't done this already, or if you thinking about starting a web shop, start with this assignment. Fill out this mission, think about it, 2-3 lines, and make sure that it covers your product, so you have something to communicate to your followers, buyers, and fans. So that's step 1, knowing your why. Step 2, your product. Like I said, 2.5 years, I started making book sleeves. Etsy had, I found a lot of other book sleeve shops on Etsy, of course. I didn't find a lot in the Netherlands. There were like 2 others I could find at that time. There were some in the UK, America, all over the world, of course. But at that time, the book sleeves were like open book sleeves. So I couldn't find any with buttons or zippers, again, at that time, because if you go on Etsy right now, there are a lot of other shops, and you can find them in all sizes and shapes. But at that time, for me, the perfect book sleeve had a button. So that's why I started making sleeves with a button. So in this world of book sleeves, and maybe you're making candles, maybe you're making, again, art, maybe you are a painter, look up, go on Etsy, go on Google, go on Shopify, and learn about your product and other buyers and other shops and other sellers, and make sure you find something that makes your product unique. Even though there are 20 million other candles, 20,000 other book sleeves, try to find your uniqueness. Like I said, I started out with the button in the Netherlands. I was the only shop offering the button. And with the Jackie, also a product that also already existed. But I would, on the inside, there was like this cotton also. And I thought, okay, I wanted to feel more safe than it already did. So I started using felt, and I added the ribbons. So for me, that was my my thing that I added to an already existing product. So again, step 2, find out things about your product and other sellers, and try to find your uniqueness, because then you will stand out. And then again, if you stand out, people will find you, and it will become a success. And I say, like it said, no competitors. Try not to see other shop owners as competitors. You're not competing on who is making the most beautiful book sleeve, or you're not competing on the best smelling candle. It's just see them as people you can learn from. And so that's another tip from me. And another assignment is a vision board. So when I started doing that marketing course and the branding course, again, if you opening a shop maybe for as a hobby, you can think, oh, why should I do this? It's just for fun. But it will help you keep in mind what you're doing it for. Again, I was without a job, so I wanted to make money off of my shop. And so I started to think about, okay, what will I do when I get the money? I will get more freedom. Can go on vacation. So just an assignment is not a must, but it's fun to do. Go on Pinterest and find some pictures that will help motivate you doing the things and the work for your web shop. Okay, next step. Yes, let's talk about money. When I asked my followers on which questions they had, or what they were struggling about, or were having doubts about, it's the most thing they answered was about the money. I'm afraid to ask what my product is really worth. The energy, the time, the hours, the materials. Everyone else is asking this amount of money. Why should I ask more? Because if I ask more, people maybe don't want to buy my products. Forget that. Because I don't have hours, I made a PDF and it's on my website. And I think the link will be dropped in the chat, so you can look it up. In that PDF, I will. There's an overview, and you can fill in 3 forms about all your materials, and then you can come up with a perfect price for your product. So I can go into it a lot right now, but if you want help on finding a right price for your product and want some help in getting it to know what it will take and what it will cost a year from now, just look it up, download it, it's free, fill it in, and if you have questions, ask them later or DM me on Instagram. But I just wanted to give this PDF to you as a little bit of help. Okay, so profit from the start. Also in the PDF, I'll talk about a book called Profit First and why it's handy to start with it immediately. When I started out with like 5 fabrics, when orders came in and I started to earn a little bit of money and selling products, what I wanted to do with that money was to buy more fabrics. So everything that I earned, I just spent it on more fabrics and more and more and more. And at the end of the month, I didn't have enough money to pay myself or to eat or whatever. So, and this book really helped me to make sure I have enough to do my purchase, so my buy-ins, so I can order enough fabrics and I can do a little extra and also give myself some salary. So you see the circle with you. If you're about to start or just started, if you collect your money, make some money jars. It's about making money jars. I do that online on my bank in the app. Some banks offer that option that you can make different saving accounts to put money on. So you see me, I have a lot because I also have partners that can get a little money, and I had a loan that I still have to pay back. But when you just start, make 50% of the product your expense. So if Etsy gives you the money you earned for that week, 50% goes to the saving accounts for your expenses. Then 20% your salary. It can be 10%, it can be 5%, whatever you want, but choose the percentage that works for you. If you're a business and you're registered as a business, of course you have to pay taxes. In our country, that's 21%. So that's a fixed percentage. So I put that aside so I can. I also have the money. Always have the money when they come asking for it, and 9% profit. That profit is not salary. It's not for fabrics or whatever. Put that on an account which you can't reach that easy. At the end of the year, so look at it, let it motivate you, and at the end of the year, that profit is yours. Don't touch it. But at the end of December, that's the money you really extra earned with your web shop. And go do something fun with it. Go on a holiday. I don't care. But I think it's really good just to keep that money aside so you can grow and let it motivate you. Again, I can talk about it for hours. I'm not going to do that. So go to my website, download the plan, and more information about this profit first will be in there. Okay, so next, if you figured out all your expenses, what your product is going to cost, there's just a few small things left for us to do before you can start opening your web shop. This checklist may seem a little bit random, but do you have enough workspace? When I started out, we were living with 2 persons in a studio for 1. So we were dining between fabrics. It was hell. And if you start producing more and more of your products, it really helps if you have a good workspace. Now I have my own room, and it's a mess. It's always a mess, but I can work there, and it can really help not stress out when you have to pack orders and make your products. So yeah, if you have that, then yeah, good. Second, are you patient enough for your customers? It's on a checklist because 75% of owning a web shop is customer service. They have questions. They want to thank you. Sometimes, especially the last year with the Corona crisis, packages got lost. People want to know when it arrived. It doesn't matter. They have questions and they reach out to you. And sometimes when packages don't arrive, there will be emotions. People can get mad. So yeah, there were times I struggled with the customer service, and I struggled with disappointing people. So it's not something you think about before opening a web shop. At least I didn't. So that's why it's on a checklist. Are you patient enough for that? If you are, then yes. And do you know all the postal service and options? I didn't know them when I started out. So I was paying a lot of postal costs, and now there are like 6 other services who are way more cheaper than what I paid at first. So just make sure that you know, okay, if I'm going to send products, which one of which service is the best one, and also affordable for your customers and for yourself. So if you didn't do that, then do that now, and then we'll go on to the next. So if you start on Etsy, or there are a few things they will ask you to fill in before the web shop goes live. And one of those things is a shop name. Yeah, Books Art Liberty. I don't know. I was working at a museum. I've worked at a museum, so that was the art part, and I also studied theater. So again, that was the art part, and books. Yeah, well, logical, because I was a Bookstagram account that was called Books Art Liberty, and the freedom, liberty, freedom. Yeah, so that's how I came up with my name. It doesn't matter, but you have to fill it in. The first thing you have to fill in on Etsy is your shop name. And they also ask you to upload 10 products. It's not necessary, but if you want the algorithm on Etsy, if you want people to find you, you have to have at least 10 products. So make sure you have 10 products to upload if you want to start an Etsy shop. If you want to start a WooCommerce shop, then this is not necessary. Have you written down all the specs? Again, people want to know everything about your product, so make sure they can find it on your web shop. Do you have an Instagram account? Etsy or WooCommerce, it doesn't matter, but Instagram helps to be visible, to sell your product. Facebook, not so much anymore. TikTok can also help, but if you really have products or you're an artist, Instagram is still the best social media platform to use to sell products and to show yourself. So if you don't have an Instagram account, make sure to open one also. And are your friends and family ready to buy? When I just started out, and I hear it a lot, people so friends, family, when they want to have the product, they don't buy it on Etsy. Because then you have to, a small percentage goes to Etsy, and your mom probably doesn't want that to happen. So she buys it from you, but that's a mistake, because make sure people do buy on the Etsy platform, because then they can leave reviews. And the more orders you sell on Etsy, the higher you get also again in the algorithm, and people can find you faster. And the more reviews and the more products you sell, the more visible you become on Etsy. So forget the percentage you have to give to Etsy. Just make sure everyone buys on your platform in the beginning. When you've grown, you can do it otherwise. But just a tip from me, make sure they buy everything from you online. Okay, so that was the checklist. Then the final step, do's and don'ts. Well, to be honest, there are no don'ts. I learned just by doing, and I made a lot of mistakes. I tried a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff didn't work, and a lot of stuff did work. So if you feel the need to do something, if you feel the need to try something, just do it. And then there's another do, and that's, you can ask me now anything you want to know. I dropped a lot of information on you, I know. And I don't know if I was really clear about the finance plan, but you can go to my website and download it. And now I'm just wondering if there are any questions. And if not, okay, then you can DM me on Instagram later if you do have questions. I'm now going to wait if anyone has a question. Yes. Yes.
I have a question for you. Have you had a moment where you were incredibly disheartened and you wanted to give up? And what did you do to get back up?
Yes, I did. There was a time when I was in bed crying, even crying behind my sewing machine, and that was because I didn't earn enough money with my web shop at that time, and it was my only income, so it was really important for me. Then I started to spend money. So how I got back up was to invest in myself. So my mom and me, 50-50, she helped me doing those marketing courses and branding courses. And then I got motivated again. I started to show myself on Instagram. I started to make better pictures for Etsy and of my products. And I looked at, so I got motivated again to put all the love and work back into my web shop. And that worked.
Oh, I'm glad that you got
So
back up. This is a cheeky question. Would you be interested in making some Camp YA face masks or book sleeves if
of
we
course.
asked you? Okay, okay.
Yes, because if you go to my website, there's this button, custom sleeves and products, because I do print illustrations, photos of your favorite pet, whatever you want, or your logo, I can print on items. Yes.
Book sleeves. That is a great way to immortalize your pets and take them with
Yes,
you wherever.
yes,
I might get
yes.
my brother's cat on a book sleeve. I love that cat so much.
Oh,
Um,
I love them.
another another question that we've got is, what product are you most proud of?
Oh, my book sleeve. And now I'm working with an illustrator from Another View, and the girl from Letters and Lights, she's also with her shop on the market. They illustrated some things, and I printed that on book sleeves. And I love to work with other people, with artists, to really make unique sleeves. So I think I'm most proud of that custom line and the illustrator line. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Um, Another question. Knowing all that you know now, would you still open a web shop again? Like if you could go back, would you open up the web shop? And if you did, what would you do differently from the beginning?
Oh, wow. Okay, what I would, yes, I would open a web shop knowing what I know now. What I would do differently is the finance, so the profit first. Make sure I don't go all in right away. Of course, you want to expand your shop and you have to grow, but you have the time. Don't do it all in 1 month. Just take the time to grow and enjoy, instead of all going, okay, new stuff, more. I think I wouldn't do that because, yeah, it gave me a lot of stress, and it cost me a lot of money. So those two things I would do differently. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a favorite kind of fabric to work with? And are there any kinds of fabric that you say people should just avoid?
Well, to avoid, I use the velvet as sleeves. They're really soft. They're very luxurious. It's a very stern fabric, so it can take a lot. But because it's this smooth, it's not fun to sew. so velvet, so velvet fabrics and sewing machine are not really a match. But I do love the fabric. So yeah, I still use them because they're beautiful and the feel is amazing. But it's frustrating to work with. So yeah, the best fabric is just the cottons because it's easy and you can wash them and you can iron them. So it makes the product really usable.
Awesome. Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for
Everyone
having
watching,
me.
it was our pleasure. Everyone watching, please go check out our shop. She has been so generous, although now I kind of feel bad for using a discount code, having seen all that, but there is a discount code for a limited time. Her shop is only open for a limited time. There are some
Yes, I'm
amazing
going on
things on there.
holiday.
Yeah, so you only have I think a few more days. I think the 29th
Yes,
to order. Yeah.
29th. Yes, so one more week.
Get those orders in. There are some like a lot of several different fandoms. I'm particularly interested in your Bridgerton stuff personally. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, and good luck with the event.